The sky was bright and clear that day, yet life felt unbearably heavy for Rowan Hale, a single father who had grown too accustomed to carrying invisible storms inside him. The daylight shimmered over the small rural road as if mocking his struggles, and the sun cast long shadows that made every step toward survival feel longer. But destiny often arrives on ordinary days, wrapped in situations that look like accidents, and Rowan had no idea that the moment he saw a lone woman standing beside a broken-down car would change every corner of his life. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of doing good even when no one is watching, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Love in Motion. Your support keeps these heartfelt stories alive. Rowan was returning from a long, exhausting shift at a local construction site. His hands were rough from work, his shirt carried the dust of a life built on struggle, and his heart was worn from the quiet battles he faced every day. His daughter, 7-year-old Arlette, depended on him for everything, and he was determined never to fail her. Yet life had not been gentle since his wife passed away 2 years earlier. Bills stacked up, opportunities thinned, and Rowan kept giving, kept trying, kept hoping for a break that never seemed to come. As he drove down the quiet countryside road, he spotted the car, a sleek silver sedan that looked too expensive to belong in a place where people struggled to pay for basic repairs. Next to it stood a woman, mid-30s, tall, graceful, with anxious eyes scanning the horizon for help. Her name, though Rowan didn't know it yet, was Seraphine Vale, a name whispered among the elite, a woman who had inherited wealth many only read about in magazines. But she was not just a millionaire, she was a quiet observer of humanity, someone who believed generosity could still be found in unexpected places. She traveled anonymously, without security or luxury, testing the kindness of strangers, wondering if the world still had good hearts left. Rowan slowed his old truck, the engine rattling like a tired sigh. Stopping wasn't convenient. It never was. Time meant money, and money was something he barely had. But Rowan's instinct was always to help first and worry later. He pulled over, stepped out into the heat of the day, and approached her with the humble caution of a man who had known hardship and still chose compassion. Seraphine felt a wave of relief as he approached. Despite her wealth and status, she was vulnerable now, alone on a deserted road with no cell signal. She had intentionally chosen this route, wanting to see how people acted when no spotlight demanded kindness. But she didn't expect him, the man with worn boots, a tired smile, and eyes that carried both strength and sorrow. Rowan asked if she was all right and offered to check the car. She watched him work, hands steady despite fatigue, as he inspected the engine and tried to restart it. After 15 minutes, he sighed quietly and said it needed towing or professional repair, neither of which she could arrange out there. Without hesitation, Rowan offered her a ride back to town. It was midday, the sun bright enough to reveal every imperfection, yet he treated her with a sincerity that made her wonder how someone with so little could still give so much. Inside his truck, she noticed small signs of his life. A child's drawing taped to the dashboard, an old lunchbox, a worn backpack. Rowan apologized for the mess, embarrassed, but Seraphine only smiled softly, feeling something unfamiliar warming her chest. She admired the drawing, asked about Arlette, and listened as Rowan spoke with the gentle pride of a loving father. Back in town, Rowan didn't leave her at a motel like she expected. Instead, he helped her carry her bags, made sure she got a safe room at a reasonable place, and even apologized again for not being able to fix her car fully. He had no idea he was speaking to a woman who could buy the entire motel with a single signature. To him, she was simply someone in need, and that was enough. What surprised Seraphine wasn't just his kindness, it was the complete lack of expectation. No hint of wanting something in return. No uncomfortable attempts to impress her. just raw humanity, honest and unfiltered. She felt something shift inside her, a longing for simplicity, for sincerity, for people like him who gave without counting. The next morning, Rowan returned to check on her again, bringing breakfast. Just a simple sandwich and coffee from a local shop. Things he probably couldn't easily afford. But he said he didn't want her starting her day empty. Seraphine felt her throat tighten at the gesture. She had been surrounded by luxury her entire life, yet she had rarely received kindness this pure. Over the next 2 days, while her car was being repaired, they met again and again. They walked through the quiet streets of his small town during the day, talking about life in ways that made her forget who she was supposed to be. Rowan showed her the nearby park where Arlette loved to play, the small cafe he sometimes worked at for extra income, the places where he'd grown up dreaming of a better future. Seraphine watched him with a tenderness she didn't expect, seeing in him the rare combination of resilience and gentleness. By the afternoon of the third day, Seraphine finally met Arlette. The little girl had bright eyes, full of wonder and creativity, but there was a subtle loneliness there, a shadow left behind by her mother's absence. Arlette warmed up to Seraphine instantly. She showed her drawings, took her hand while walking, and laughed with the kind of joy that made Rowan smile for the first time in days. Seraphine found herself wishing she could freeze those moments under the warm daylight, the tiny hands clutching hers, Rowan's grateful smile, the peace that settled around them like something heaven sent. In the days that followed, Seraphine spent more time in the town. She and Rowan grew closer, slowly but surely, under the warm glow of sunny afternoons. Arlette adored her completely, and Rowan began to understand that sometimes the most unexpected people walk into your life right when hope feels hardest to hold on to. Their bond grew into something gentle and steady, built not on wealth, but on trust, gratitude, and the purest version of love, two souls healing each other. If this story touched your heart, even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Love in Motion. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope, humanity, and second chances. And before you go, please leave a special comment. Kindness always wins.